Friday morning, everybody. Skylar Callan here on Between the Ears, here on Mountaineers Now and SI Fan Nation channel. West Virginia drops 3-2 to Oklahoma State and is bounced from the Big 12 Conference Tournament after just 2 games. And West Virginia could be in a little bit of trouble here heading into the NCAA tournament. First thought on this one is you can't help but talk about the play at first base. They're late in the game. Landon Wallace puts a bunt down and seemingly should have been safe. He's running straight down the line, may have been a foot or so inside, and then readjusted, was either on the line or in foul territory. Either way, he was not out of the base path, and he is entitled to be slightly inside the baseline on that play. He is. And for whatever reason, the umpire believes that he impacted the throw from the catcher. So they call him out. They make Colin McNeely come back to first base, and all of a sudden that completely changes the inning. It would have been first and second, I believe, with nobody out, or maybe one out. I believe it was nobody out. Instead, it's first base with one out. They would have had the go-ahead run in scoring position. I've never in my 27 years of life have seen an umpire make this call. I've seen it be made when it's egregious as all hell and is completely obvious that the runner impacted the throw, but he was going straight down the line and it was a bad throw from the catcher. It wasn't because the catcher had to try and make a wide throw. There was just a bad throw to first base. First baseman had to pull off the bag. And for them to call that is one thing. To go into replay and to come out of that with still conviction on the call is ludicrous to me. Like, I don't understand it. Makes no sense. And I 100% believe it changed the game. Now, would West Virginia still have won or had a chance to have won? Yeah, I think they could have. I don't know if they would have won the game. There's a lot of things that could have went on in that inning. They could have put up a 5 spot. They could have went for 2 runs, 3 runs. Maybe they still don't score. But in that situation, if it's not egregious, you can't call it. You just simply cannot call it. And what's even worse about it is that's not even the home plate's the home plate umpire's call to make. That's the first baseman, the first base umpire's call to make. So I don't understand how that play went down. Obviously, it hurt West Virginia, and it seems like these things always happen to WVU, and it doesn't matter if it's baseball, football, regardless of sport. It seems like these types of things just always happen. But hey, you still have to move past it and find a way to push across a run and keep Oklahoma State from scoring, and they just couldn't find a way. So 3-2, they get bounced. Now it's 5 straight, I believe. Yeah, 5 straight. They lost the 3 to Texas at the end of the year. They lose the 2 at the Big 12 tournament. So how much trouble is this team in? I would say quite a bit. And going into this tournament, I didn't think that they'd be done in 2 games. I said they would lose the first game to Texas Tech, and they'd find a way to win this second game and make a little bit of noise and maybe win 2-3 games in the tournament. But for them to show up and not look all that great in game one, and then they struggle at the plate in game two. Something about this team just looks completely different. There's not that same spark, that same energy that I saw 2 weeks ago in that Texas Tech series in Morgantown. Now, Randy Mazey may see it different. He may think the energy level's still fine. He may believe this team is still in a good spot. But that's his opinion. I mean, he is right there in the dugout. He would probably know this team better than anybody. But just from what I can see, this team does not look the same. It looks like a team that's lost its confidence, that's been humbled a little bit, and is trying to search for that same spark that they had, or that same aura that they had 2 weeks ago. And that's not where you want to be heading into NCAA tournament play, because I mean, now, I mean, let's be real here. West Virginia is not hosting a regional. They're not going to host a regional. And you could make an argument that they could fall to a number 3 seed. I don't know that they're going to be able to hang on to a number 2 spot, especially when you get beat down the way they did for 3 games in Austin, and then go to Arlington and not win a game. That was hard. That's a hard look. Now, the one thing I don't want to put too much weight into it, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. You still just have to go out there and play baseball. But team was away for a long time. I mean, they flew out to Texas, I want to say that Wednesday before the Texas series, or maybe even Tuesday. I'm not really sure. We're there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, obviously for the Texas series. And then they bust to Arlington. They never came back home to Morgantown. They just went straight to Arlington and were out there until yesterday. It's a long time to be away. So maybe that was a little different for them. Again, I don't want to put too much stock into that, but this is a team that is certainly in trouble, because you don't have the bats, you don't have the confidence. The pitching has been not very good. There's been a ton of walks. It's just a team that really lacks, I think, the ability to advance in the tournament if the bats aren't going. 4 years ago, West Virginia was able to at least push to make it past the regional because of their pitching staff. They had Alec Manoah, they had other guys that were able to really kind of just overpower people. This staff doesn't have that, at least not yet. There's a lot of really good, talented young arms on this team, but they're not quite to that level yet. They're going to have to win with their bats. They're going to have to win with their defense, which recently has not been very good. And they're going to have to win with their speed on the base paths. So if they can't do that, they can't get on base, this team can't win. And that's what we've seen for the last 5 games. So I don't know what West Virginia is going to do in the NCAA tournament, but I can like I said, I can assure you this: they're not going to be hosting a regional, which is disappointing for a team that heading into the Texas series was more than a lock to host a regional. They were in a damn good position to maybe even be a super regional host had they advanced from the region. And now you're talking about going from a potential top 8 national seed to maybe, just maybe, being a number 3 seed somewhere. And in the grand scheme of things, it really probably doesn't matter, because a 3 plays the 2, 2 plays the 3. But where you are in the actual seeding does matter, because if you're one of the bottom 2s, you're going to be playing one of the top 3s. and so on and so forth. But then again, you're probably right there on that line. It doesn't really matter anyway. But still, just the look of it, going from where they are to a potential 3 seed, major disappointment for this team after the season that they had. But who knows? Maybe they just need this little bit of time off. Maybe they get lucky and stay, relatively high in the selection committee's eyes, and they get a strong number 2 seed, not one of the last few spots. And maybe the pitching bounces back and the offense comes back to life. And we see the same team we saw 2 weeks ago. JJ Weatherholt, that's the big key in all of this. If he gets back to swinging the bat the way he did, then this team can do a lot of damage. But if he doesn't, it's going to be tough going for the Mountaineers in this tournament. That's going to do it for today's episode of Between the Ears on Mountaineers Now and SI Fan Nation channel. I'm Skylar Callan. You can check us out on Twitter at Mountaineers Now. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Mountaineers Now as well. We're going to do a mailbag probably for Monday's show. So go ahead, hit me up on Twitter at Callan_ and submit your questions. I'll answer all of them. Doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football, recruiting, transfer portal stuff, Mountaineers and the pros, whatever it is. Shoot me your questions at Callan_ on Twitter, and we'll take care of that mailbag on Monday. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.